I'm Gabe Jewell, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 15. With all of the other heroes in the Marvel Universe under the sway of Regent, a new hero will need to rise to save the day. Could this be the beginning of something new? Is this Mary Jane the Iron Spider-Woman? Well, let's hop on in and find out together, shall we?
Alrighty then, so as the comic opens, we can see Jarvis and MJ are absolutely freaking out about Regent being able to kidnap Tony and Peter. Worse still, no other heroes out there are responding to their distress calls, which pretty much means they're on their own. Now luckily, Mary Jane Watson has lived something of an interesting life. She got herself some spider powers during the events of Spider Island, and she even spent some time in an Iron Man suit during the events of the story The Other. So, with a bunch of old Avengers surplus sitting around, she decides maybe now is the time to don a costume of her own, and wouldn't you know it, she ends up picking the old Iron Spider costume. A fitting choice when you stop and consider that that costume came about due in part to the original Civil War, and right now we're in the middle of a second Civil War. It seems that Regent has gone a little crazy with his superhuman collecting habit. And I mean really, when you collect people the same way nerds collect Funkos, it's only a matter of time before you run out of space, and that's exactly what's happened. Using a sonic device that Clash gave him, Harry Osborn manages to blow up the tube he's in and make a run for it, alerting Spider-Man along the way, which is perfect timing too, because it means that Spider-Man wakes up just in time to distract Regent so Iron Spider-Woman can get on in and kick his ass. The two join forces to battle the giant evil villain, and it's funny, in this moment they start to feel that this whole thing is kind of familiar, like they can remember beating his ass somewhere else, they just can't put their finger on it. Obviously they're making reference to Renew Your Vows and that Secret Wars tie-in wherein Regent first appeared. Oh, I get it, you can remember a universe that now never existed, but you can't remember your marriage, huh? Spider-Man breaks off from the fight, leaving MJ and Tony to handle Regent so he himself can go inside the facility and start freeing Miles and all the other prisoners. Well, geez, Regent, your superhero collection isn't worth anything now that the seal's been broken. They're not in mint condition anymore. Having recruited an entire army's worth of amazing friends, Spider-Man rejoins the fight, and together they all put the hurtin' on Regent something terrible. Of course, Pete and Tony still feel a little bad about how this went down. I mean, August Roman wasn't always a bad guy. In fact, his, road to hell was paved with some very good intentions. He just let his work get the best of him, something that both Peter Parker and Tony Stark can understand. MJ is congratulating for help to save the day, but she makes a strong point of saying that this was a one-time affair and she doesn't plan to make wearing a costume a regular thing, especially as she's seen firsthand how wearing a costume can kind of ruin people's lives. Spider-Man says that today was a great example of what happens when heroes work together for a greater good, but also a perfect example of what happens when heroes let their egos get in the way and start fighting one another. Miles, however, swears up and down that this is a problem that the next generation of superheroes plans to address. Yep, it looks like all's well that ends well for the superhero crowd, but Spider-Man makes sure to also take this opportunity to enrich the life of Peter Parker by buying out an entire coffee shop for all of his closest friends and family. Everybody's there. Aunt May, Jay, Robbie, and his dad, Gloria. Even J. Jonah Jameson got to come along. Oh, but this is a Spider-Man story we're reading, isn't it? And that old Parker luck kicks in the worst way possible, because poor Jay, Peter's step-uncle, ends up keeling over. What's his problem? Well, I guess we're going to have to read the next issue to find out, won't we? The Amazing Spider-Man number 15 was, in my mind, a really solid conclusion to what ended up being probably one of the stronger arcs in this new post-Secret Wars run. I'm a big fan of theming, and I really like Dan Slott drawing a lot of comparisons between Tony Stark and Peter Parker as CEOs and August Roman as a CEO. I also really dig the fact that in the end, the day was saved not really so much by the intervention of superheroes, but by regular everyday people like MJ and Harry Osborn pushing themselves to be extraordinary. I also had a good chuckle when the heroes were standing around and, you know, kind of shooting the breeze about all the bad stuff that happens when good guys fight other good guys. You know, a bit of an on-the-nose reference to what's going to be coming with Civil War 2, huh? Overall, I'd give this one a very positive 8.5. I think it's a nice mixture of a lot of the stuff that I really enjoy about Spider-Man. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and while you're here, why not check out another video I have on offer, or maybe if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you want to like or subscribe. And if you want to support the creation of more videos just like this one, then please by all means check out the Cape Joel Patreon. A little bit goes a very long way, and I will see you all next time.